So next what I'd like to do is to demonstrate each of these different reflecting surfaces here using our system of Blackboard optics, in which I have a light source attached with magnets to the chalkboard, and it'll send a beam of light out, and I'll let that beam of light strike first just a plane mirror, and then we'll see what happens when the light reflects from the plane mirror. To do that, I'm going to turn the lights down just a little bit here. Hopefully you'll still be able to see the mirror as well as the light beam. I'm going to bring up this plane mirror, and we're going to see that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. No matter what the orientation of the mirror, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Now let's take a look at a convex mirror. Here's a mirror that's convex on this side, and I'll face that toward the light source. So we see that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection for the convex mirror as well. Angle of incidence equals angle of reflection. Now let's take a look at the concave side, and we see that it also works for the concave mirror. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Note that with the convex mirror, if I have a beam coming in horizontally and it strikes the top part of the mirror, it'll be reflected upward. If it strikes the bottom part of the mirror, it'll be reflected downward. With a concave mirror, if it strikes the top part of the mirror, it'll be deflected downward, and if it strikes the bottom part of the mirror, it'll be deflected upward. Next, what I'd like to do is show what happens when we have multiple beams of light. So let me bring in 3 beams of light parallel to one another. And I'd like to demonstrate here with these 3 parallel beams of light that if we take the plane mirror and let those beams reflect, that those 3 beams will go off as a parallel beam, no matter what the orientation of the mirror. And so they neither converge nor do they appear to diverge from some point on the other side. Parallel beams will go off as parallel beams when reflected from a plane mirror. Next, let's take the convex surface and see what happens to those 3 parallel beams of light. Now those 3 parallel beams of light will appear to diverge as if coming from a virtual focal point back behind the mirror. Convex surface. Now let's take a look at the concave surface and watch what happens when the 3 parallel beams strike the concave surface. Now those 3 parallel beams will appear to, not just appear, but they will actually reflect in such a way that they pass through a real focal point over on the same side of the mirror as the light source. This would be the focal point. The distance between the mirror and that point would be the focal length for this particular concave mirror.